Remember, this entire manga and every manga on this channel is hand-drawn by myself, and now you too can learn exactly how to make your own viral Dragon Ball mangas at www.makemanga.com, where you can learn directly from me. My mangas have got me on TV, on newspapers, and even earned me over $60,000 a month on Patreon alone. And now, you can click the link in the description and pinned comment of this video and do it yourself. You only need to see the website to see just how many thousands of you are taking this opportunity right now. And don't forget also, the next video to this Ultra Vegito series has already been made and is live now on my Patreon right now for over 4,500 of you incredible fans to watch after this. Again, links are in the pinned comment and description. Enjoy. So our story continues with Goku and Vegeta having just arrived on Kami's lookout, both with their fingers on their forehead after using instant transmission, and both wary of their surroundings, their senses heightened after having just fought in the great battle with the Grand Priest. As Goku, looking to Vegeta, would say, "I told you, Vegeta, the Earth is really back. We're finally home." As Vegeta, still cautious, would reply, I just don't believe it. Keep your guard up. This could easily be a trick. You never know what Lucifer could be up to. It could be an illusion, just like that one time with the second. Huh? But as the two would look around over the edge of Kami's lookout, seeing its green pastures and blue waters for the first time in decades, from behind, one of their offspring would recognize them instantly. As Gohan, stunned, would mutter, Dad? Before... Dad! With no restraint, Goten, in complete contrast, Goku's youngest son, would shout out for his father in pure excitement, immediately getting his attention. Huh? That voice? As Goku, still with a hint of skepticism, would turn around quickly at the sound of the familiar child before... Dad! You're finally back! As Goten, jumping like a little monkey, would instantly be high in the air in front of his father until... without a worry in the world, would grab tightly onto Goku. As grabbing back with a huge smile, Goku would say, Whoa there, son. Go easy. I'm not exactly in the best condition right now. It's good to see you too, Goten. Dad! Where have you been? You should have seen me in Trunks. We fused again. We were so strong. There were these gross monsters, and I was like, ha! And Trunks was like, yeah! Really? Looks like I missed out, huh? As the two curiously similar Saiyans would then smile at each other, bonding over their love for battle. But as Goku would then lift Goten high into the sky, he would wonder how everyone would look exactly the same, commenting as he weighs the child in his arms. But man, how long was I away? You don't look any different, Goten. I think I've been away for decades. You're not even an adult. Did Pilaf make some kind of wish or something? I visited a universe once where that happened, and... But as Goku would explain his nonsense-sounding story to Goten, behind him, his oldest son would emerge. With a smile, Gohan would address his father, saying, Dad, I think a lot has gone on. And I think after an explanation or two, we'll be able to figure out all the questions both you and we have. But for now, I'm really glad you're back. I finally feel safe. And Goku, hearing this, would then calmly put Goten down and turn to his eldest son. A smile on his face as he just softly would let out, "Gohan." Walking over, before placing a hand on the half-breed Saiyan's shoulder, smiling back at him with a subtle pride in his eyes, before saying with a masculine smirk, "I think you're right, son. There's a lot to talk about. Even about what happened to you and where you went. But I want you to know, I saw what you did for the Earth while I was away. How you stepped up and tried to avenge us, even against gods of destruction. I'm proud of you." Dad. And Gohan, taken aback by his father's praise, would sport an almost shy demeanor, as he would reply, "Thanks, Dad. I knew that's what you would have done too." But their wholesome reunion would prematurely be cut when Goku would suddenly hear the cries of a woman behind. Slowly but surely, he would then begin to turn around, wondering, is someone in trouble? Who could it be? Goku! But behind Goku would be no woman in trouble, but a wife with tears in her eyes in a mixture of shock and joy, as Chi-Chi would be seen, with her father the Ox King behind her, as he would say in a deep voice, "Hey Goku, I knew you'd be back. Chi-Chi over here was worried over nothing. I tried to tell her." As the tearful Chi-Chi, with her lips quivering, would be barely able to say a thing but mutter, "Goku," until with her whole body now shaking, as if needing to move forward, her lips would utter softly, "I don't know what happened. It all went black all of a sudden. I didn't think I'd ever see you again. Where were you? Where were you when I needed you? Oh, you damn fool!" As no longer being able to contain herself, she too, just like her son before her, would jump to hug her husband. As Goku, feeling a small sense of guilt, would somberly say to her, "Typical me to let you down. I'm sorry, Chi-Chi. I'm sorry for not being there when you needed me, for not being able to protect you. But I'm here now, and I'll make this all right. I promise." As the usually cold prince, watching on, wouldn't be able to help but give off a smile from the wholesome scenes, his arms folded as he would think internally, "Well, I guess it's time for my soppy reunion then. Where is that damn family of mine? Ah, Trunks. He too hasn't seen any changes over the years." As first, he would see his oldest child. And there's my Bulma. Thank Zeno, she hasn't gotten any older. Otherwise, I'd be out of it. Father! As suddenly, as Vegeta's eyes would dart further on, they would burst open with who he would see next. As of course, in the distance, inexplicably, his deceased father would appear. And not only that, but in some kind of all-new form.
What on earth are you wearing? I knew it, Kakarot! This isn't real! This is some kind of dumb illusion!
As the prince, literally unable to even comprehend the reality facing him, would give off a thoroughly confused face, now contemplating whether Lucif has had a hand in this. While his father, just looking on unimpressed, would say,
I'm as real as that short stature of yours, son. Who knew you would take after your mother so much? Are you really as strong as they say you are? Short stature!
Triggering the prince immediately as he steps back from the cold welcome from his would-be father. As approaching from behind, the assassin, now trying to change the subject, would then address Vegeta saying, like Gohan said, I think some explanations are in order for the benefit of everyone. Rest assured, Vegeta, this is no illusion. And so, some time would pass, and absolutely all would be explained from all three sides. Goku and Vegeta, Hit and his two Saiyans from the past, and Gohan and the Z-Fighters explaining the nothingness they experienced the minute they were erased. As Goku, finishing off his tale, would say with a serious countenance, and that's basically everything. This whole time, while it seems you guys stayed frozen still after being erased, we've been battling and taking down each and every god of destruction. Beerus, Whis, Zeno, they're all gone now. And we did all as Vegito. But even he isn't a part of us anymore. Some way down the line, he became his own person. And now, we have no idea where he is. In the end, all three of us managed to bring you guys back, but not without bringing back Lucif too, the Grand Priest's brother. And this guy, he just isn't someone we can beat as we are now. And Vegeta confirming, would add on, and as much as I hate to say it, this time it's really true. There's nothing I could do, and I've ascended to levels beyond what you could imagine. In fact, both Kakarot and I are on entirely different levels of power to when you last saw us. We've been training for decades. We're only young because of the power of Boo. But regardless of how far we've come, we'll need to reach even greater heights to even stand a chance. You all need to. But hearing this, Tien Shinhan, who had always held a harmless disdain for the prince, would say with a smirk, this Lucif guy must really be something, if not only Goku, but the cocky Vegeta himself finds himself humble. I was expecting you to tell us how the Prince of all Saiyans would do this on his own. I guess Chaozu and I will need to head back to the temple for some serious training. To which the slightly annoyed Vegeta would just go back. Sorry, Three Eyes, but I meant more the Green Man and Gohan. An Earthling like you is better hiding away here on Earth while the real men fight. Enough! Eventually being nipped in the bud by the wise Namekian, as Piccolo would then say, this isn't the time. But Vegeta is right.
The Earth is still in danger as we speak, Tien. And there will need to be protectors that stay behind. These Saiyans that have arrived are strong. But this is our planet, not theirs. We will all have our roles in this. It's working together that will win this war. Well said, Green Man.
To which King Vegeta, hearing the young warriors bicker, would let out himself.
Teamwork is exactly what will be needed to make a difference here. Like a well-tuned squadron. I came here to help win this battle, not to die in vain. If this Lucif fellow is as strong as you two say, a good strategist will be key. Luckily, the Vegeta bloodline is not short on producing those. Hey, son!
Which would just get a smirking response from Vegeta as he would end.
Very true, father.
And not to be overshadowed by the Vegetas, Bardock would soon begin walking, coming from behind Goku and placing a hand on his shoulder as he would proclaim, "And when it comes to brute force, the Bardock family has you covered. Don't we, Kakarot?" To which Goku would just smile back in agreement. Ha! Well, it's settled then. As part of the Bardock family, Gohan would continue with a smile. To think I'd meet my grandfather one day under these circumstances. I never even knew you existed. Dad never spoke of you. But the resemblance is uncanny. You, Dad, and Goten are all alike. Huh? But rather comedically, Goku would sport a perplexed look at that comment and say, really? I don't see it. He's covered in scars. He's more like a Broly. Never mind that. But Piccolo, once again getting down to business, would soon have a request. As looking straight to Goku, the Namekian would say, "Right now, both you and Vegeta need some rest. Visit Korin to stock up on Senzu beans. The Earth is safe for now, but in the meantime, if it is saying there are demon invasions all over the multiverse, then we can't leave them to die either. Especially in our universe. I'm going to Namek. Can you get me there?" And in response, Goku would immediately look to Piccolo with a smirk of respect, as he would respond to his former rival. "Planet Namek, huh? You're right. Everyone needs our help right now more than ever. Hold on. Let me try something." And suddenly, Goku, in an uncharacteristic move, would then raise his hand high into the sky, his palm flat, as he would call out, "Angel Staff, please come to me!" As shockingly, for the first time ever, Whis' Angel Staff, originally gifted to Vegito, would now appear within Goku's hands. Instantly taking Vegeta by surprise as he remains wide-eyed, questioning to himself,
Since when? Since when could Kakarot do that?
Before Goku, now wielding the staff as if it were his own, the new Angel of Universe 7, he would stamp it to the ground and yell, "Please, staff! Take Piccolo to planet Namek!" And just like that, the Namekian warrior would begin to be coated by a mysterious light and energy from below. A smirk on his face as he looks to Goku one final time, saying as he goes, "It's good to have you back, Goku. Only you could never cease to surprise me." As in a shooting flash of energy into the heavens themselves, Piccolo would then be transported at warp speed. But back in the demon realm, Ultra Vegito would be seen once more, having just powered up and eviscerated 5 demon guards in the process, all before the eyes of the so-called Demon Emperor that ominously continues to smile. But the God Killer, confident as ever within himself, would just crack his neck as if warming up, as he would then address the great demon saying,
"Well, was that enough proof for you then, about my story? I must say, if this is all I had to worry about down there, then I think I may just take my time finding a way out. No rush needed, when none of you even come close to my power."
But the Demon Emperor would just begin to giggle in response, walking forwards towards Vegito as he would let out, "Way out? How foolish must you be to see all of us down here and think it was that easy? Sorry, but I can tell you are no god that came here by choice. Rather, you were sent here. And that means you're a demon now, just like me. And over here, the only way to have some chance of leaving is making it to the top of the food chain."
Top of the what now?
Immediately getting the God Killer's back up as he reacts to the strange sentence. As before long, now standing right in front of Vegito with no fear and a smirk ever prevalent, the Demon Emperor would say, "Like I said before, Flesh Pile, you do well to show your respect and know who you are talking to. But I guess I can let you off, since you seem so clueless. Stay quiet for a second, and I may be able to enlighten you." And knowing that any intel, from a demon or not, at this point would prove useful, the God Killer would heed his words and remain silent. Before the Emperor, now eccentrically posing, would begin to explain, "You see, Fleshy, you are a mere lower demon, freshly sent here with no status and no notable kills to your name. The bottom of the pile. Millions upon millions of lost souls just like you exist down here. Just like those 5 poor demons you destroyed earlier. But above them are the Demon Kings, who the strongest among you cockroaches will battle to become. If you have truly fallen from the mortal realm, as you say, you would have probably known of the one Demon King who managed to escape via a sorcerer's magic. That runt, Dabura. But above Demon Kings like him exist beings such as I, Demon Emperors. A status achieved from the strongest of the Demon Kings battling it out.
Are you starting to see a pattern now? Only 10 of us demon emperors ever exist at one time. One for each of the 10 sectors of the demon realm. Right now, we are in Sector 10, the bottom layer of this tower that goes straight to the top. And at the top of us all exists the one true devil, the strongest of all the demons, who the demon emperors will fight to claim the position of for eternity. This is the rank Lucifer once had before his escape. Now, a new devil is in his place, and only that devil can find a path to the mortal realm permanently through the grooming of a suitable vessel who has committed a cardinal sin. I myself have had no interest in such a thing, but perhaps after tasting your blood, my thirst will be reignited. But unimpressed and slightly annoyed, the God Killer, with his hand on his hip, would just respond, "Typical. Just like the gods, you demons have a ladder I must climb too before I can reach your little master. It could never be so easy for me, could it?" Before, with a sinisterly confident stare, Vegito would then say, "But that's just fine by me. I'll consider this a charitable service for the sake of everyone. Any chance to annihilate literal demon scum like you and Lucifer will only be doing the multiverse a favor anyway." As instantly on saying this, the God Killer would then take things up 2 stages and transform into a Super Saiyan 2. A golden aura lighting up the barren demon realm as his hair turns blonde and his eyes turn green in the process. And with a wide grin, now in his powerful state, Vegito would request of the demon, "Now, if you don't mind, since you've blessed me with your unsolicited presence already, allow me to skip that Demon King's garbage and go straight to challenging you. What even is your name?" To which the Emperor, almost looking at Vegito as if humoring him, would reply, "I suppose that can be allowed. After all, most of the Demon Kings, along with a few emperors close to Lucifer, disappeared along with him. Given the extenuating circumstances, I'm sure an exception to the rule can be made. My name is Isa." "A pleasure to meet you. Now allow me to introduce to you my little friend." As fully pumped up now with excitement, the God Killer would launch himself at full speed with his Godslayer blade fully extended, ready to make quick work of the great demon. But curiously, as he would make his first swipe, it would be clear Isa would be nothing like the 5 gods from before. With his face still smirking, the Emperor would merely tilt his neck backwards to dodge entirely.
And the same would be seen, but in the opposite direction, when Vegito would swivel and opt for a roundhouse kick to his skull.
What? This level of power should be more than enough!
Infuriating the God Killer is the idea of a new being causing him any kind of trouble after all he's been through would begin to panic him slightly. But all the while, Aiza would be thoroughly entertained, as he would take notice of Vegito's transformation and comment, "What a curious change in appearance. It reminds me so much of him." But it wouldn't be long before the docile demon would fight back, slashing a back fist upwards that would strike Vegito right on the cheek. Before in a flash, Aiza would appear quickly straight above a mid-recovery God Killer, his foot lifted high, ready to stamp out the supposed cockroach he believes Vegito to be. But even as Vegito would escape and Aiza would smash instead straight into the ground, the demon would still smile, just enjoying the slight challenge. As Vegito would then reappear on the sidelines, his blade still in tow and without a word. But as we would zoom in on his face, he would look with serious intention, clearly holding back some frustration. However, as his veins continued to pulsate all over his body, and notably, a line of blood would then fall from his mouth. Calmly, the Saiyan would then take his left hand and wipe away the liquid, peering at his thumb to discover the red stain of blood, which is the last thing he would expect to see down here. And now partially humbled, but angered nonetheless, Vegito, still covered in blue electricity, would comment,
Maybe, just maybe I underestimated this guy with just Super Saiyan 2. This isn't Boo after all. But I tell you this, a god form will surely be overkill for you. I refuse to believe these little freaks can stand anywhere close to me after I just fought the damn Grand Priest!
As just like that, the previously golden hue of the God Killer would morph entirely into the blazing red of a Super Saiyan God, his hair becoming crimson as his eyes follow now, gaining a pupil within also. Oh, as Aiza, still looking on more amused than fearful, would fold his arms, just mysteriously reminiscing again. That red. Now he really is like him. But perhaps noticing the power increase of his opponent, regardless, the Demon Emperor would blast forward, just as Vegito would too. Now no longer satisfied with just dodging and countering nonchalantly. Simultaneously, as if near enough equal, the two would attack at the same time, with the Emperor seemingly missing a spear hand to Vegito's skull, and Vegito missing an air blast to Aiza's face too. But soon enough, when we would zoom in, it would become clear there would actually be some contact at least, as the top of Vegito's forehead would be sliced and the cheek of the Emperor would be concaved inwards. But pulling back his fist once more, Vegito's assault attempt would not end there. Swinging straight for Aiza's jaw, but only to miss. As the Emperor, clearly skilled in hand-to-hand combat, would instantly then counter with an elbow straight down onto the God Killer's back before swiftly kicking Vegito right under the jaw, sending him flying backwards. It would seem in reality, the two were not as equal as first thought after all. Eventually leading to a not too bad of an impact, as breaking his fall would be one of the many dead trees. But in rage and frustration, the God Killer would then slam the ground with his fist, before beginning to push up. Ultimately standing back up, a little worse for wear, but mainly mentally, as he struggles to even believe the trouble he is having, thinking to himself,
How? What kind of sick joke is this, Arj? How is the supposed weakest of these emperors making such a difference to me?
But as Vegito's anger would build, something would begin to feel off, as a sudden rush of pain would fill his body out of nowhere. As yelling loudly, in an instant, hundreds of mini impacts would strike his body all over, each without a visible beam in sight. But nevertheless, smirking away from a distance with his finger pointed, the source would be clear. And the effect of such a unique attack would also be prevalent, as immediately from the sheer pain alone, Vegito would be left coughing up what appears to be vomit. As he would immediately then fall to the ground onto his hands and knees. And with annoyance, he would now come to the conclusion.
This is worse than I thought. This thing isn't just keeping up. He's stronger than me as a Super Saiyan God. This is nonsense. Why are you surprised? Who exactly do you think you are?
As suddenly from out of nowhere, Yamoshi would be back again, quick to call out to Vegito, attempting to bring him back down to reality. As the former third of the 5 strongest would then begin to say, "You talk as if you are the same warrior who fought against the priest. But you are only a shell of that, fool! You do realize that previously you had not only the power of Lucif within you, but also Kakarot and Vegeta? They're gone now. And so is most of your strength. For the first time in a long while, you are almost entirely yourself. So don't overestimate your strength. And definitely don't underestimate these demon emperors. You're weak again, Vegito. And beating Lucif is now more an impossible task than it has ever been in the past. I'm weak. As shell-shocking Vegito in the moment, the God Killer would begin to realize the quest to return to Universe 7 and defeat Lucifer may be far more difficult than he had ever imagined. And as if things could not get any worse, at that very moment, Aiza would begin powering up a small transformation of his own. His horns adorning each side of his head, extending in tandem, as he would say with a deep voice, "Enough! I can sense you are holding back, flesh pile. Perhaps this will push you to not waste my time!" But as that would be going on, back with Piccolo, he would finally arrive back on his home planet of Namek. And all around him, destruction and death would be seen. Dead bodies of Namekians strewn all across the ground, as the broken remnants of their homes would be seen abandoned. Walking solemnly through the bodies of his fallen brethren, Piccolo would be quiet, hoping to find at least one survivor. But eventually, as Piccolo would come to find the dead body of a child, slumped by his back against a broken heart, he would be forced to stop and kneel beside him, paying his respect as he would look at his injuries and say, I came too late. I'm sorry, brother. From Frieza, tomorrow to even now, I am never here to protect what's important to me. I've failed you all. But as Piccolo would feel sorry for himself, from afar, it would seem one lone Namekian would be left, watching on silently to see if the new arrival on Namek was friend or foe. Piccolo! But with excitement, when the elderly-looking Namekian would recognize who it is, he would immediately call out our hero's name. An energy. And just as he would, Piccolo would sense his presence too, immediately standing up with some caution before... Elder Mori! You're alive! Thank Guru! As Piccolo, having Nail within him, would recognize Mori instantaneously, as a bright smile would light up his once forlorn face. With Mori now having ran up to Piccolo, saying with an equal smile, "It is good to see you too, son. I see your time on Earth with those Saiyans has made you even stronger. I sense great power in you." But the mentioning of his strength would only cause the Namekian from Earth to look to the ground again, as he would say, "Yes, I've grown stronger, but I'm not sure what for. All this power, and I haven't been able to help my people once. It looks like I came too late again." But with an enthused look, not allowing Piccolo to be too down in the dumps, Elder Mori would encourage, "It is not right to think like that, young man. We are not your responsibility, and you have another home, which I'm sure you have protected many times. We are grateful just for you remembering us, Piccolo. But either way, you are not too late. Our strongest Namekians fused and are fighting the demon leader right now as we speak." Leader! But this reveal would just leave Piccolo taken aback, as on top of wondering what the Elder could even mean by a leader demon, he would also briefly think,
They fused? Just like the Universe 6 Namekians. They should still be alive.
Before with urgency, he would yell to the Elder,
Tell me, Mori, where are they?
And the Elder would quickly then point to the sky to his right and say,
Over there, my son. You should be able to sense them.
And just like that, Piccolo would blast off in chase without a word more. And as Elder Mori would watch on, he would just whisper to himself,
Nail, even after all these years later, you are still protecting us all. Be safe, my son.
As on both ends of the realms, both Piccolo and Vegito would be facing towards the fights of their lives against two demons, each with two very different goals. As in an unbelievable coincidence, they would finally both yell together,
This ends here!
But that was it for today's video, guys, and if you made it this far, leave me a hashtag Namek in the comments down below and let me know how things will go for both Vegito and Piccolo in this short preview. Or just find out what happens right now on my Patreon, where you can see the full next video, fully voice acted, soundtracked, and edited for you to enjoy with over 4,500 plus other fans, as well as getting access to 250 plus other fan mangas too. It's the deal of the century.